So we will be having like 30 sessions.
Okay.
So in each session we will be having some topics like this. So in this first session we are going to cover like what is Tableau and why are we using Tableau,
Okay.
and what are the Tableau products we have.
Okay.
And Tableau has a capability called in-memory BI tool. So it is called as an in-memory BI tool, and we are going to know the reason why it is called as an in-memory BI tool, and some basic functionalities. So fundamental functionalities. So while you are connecting to SQL or any BI tool, so
Okay.
we will be having dimensions and measures, and we will be having OLTP and OLTP. So these are the topics that I'm going to cover today.
Yeah.
So as you are aware about this Tableau before, like you've been having some bit of knowledge on this. So Tableau is a software company which is headquartered in Seattle, Washington, and recently it got acquired with Salesforce. So the main agenda of Tableau is to help anyone see and understand their data and connect to almost to any database. So there are multiple databases that it can connect to. Let me just show you Tableau. So this is the Tableau application. When we open this, we will be it will be asking for Tableau registration and all. So I will tell you how. So do you have Tableau in your PC right now?
Not on this PC, but I have another PC in my phone. Let me look.
Okay. So do you have license for it?
No, I don't have license for it. No.
Okay, so there is a procedure where you can get a license for
Okay.
student. So I will tell you
Okay.
that procedure. With that, you can get a license for 1 year.
Okay. Okay.
So with that you can use.
Oh, I think right now I have the expired one. Can I use that one as the student one for 1 year? I recently installed 1 month back.
So Tableau by default it comes with a 14 days of trial version. So
Yes.
after that 14 days, you can't use that again. So what you need to do is you can install uh, a later version or a preview version,
Okay.
so that you can use 14 days.
Okay. Yeah. I'll try to uninstall that one and I will do the previous version. I will install the
Yeah.
previous.
Okay. Yeah. So Tableau is having its own patent language. So just write it down. Just a second. Okay. So Tableau is having its own language called VSQL.
Okay.
So which is nothing but visual query language.
Okay.
So basically what it does is it converts data to visualization.
Okay.
So anything that we create, it will automatically convert the data into visualization. So in the backend, it writes SQL queries basically. So VSQL is nothing but data plus visualization.
Mm-hmm.
So VSQL is a combination of SQL and descriptive language for rendering the graphics. So any data in the form of text, it will convert into visualization.
Okay.
So there are many reporting tools. So this is Tableau is one of the reporting tools, and we also have other reporting tools like Power BI, ClickView, and there are Cognos and all. So apart from all those reporting tools, why are we using Tableau? So there is a specific reason that we are most of the clients are using Tableau. So the graphics and the visualization, the look and feel, everything is well and perfect that everybody is using Tableau. And
Mm-hmm.
apart from that, we also have powerful analytics. So
Okay.
we can create interactive and visually looking good dashboards, and we can answer any business questions. So whenever
Okay.
we see data, so if we push that data into the Tableau, it can give solutions to that data. So it can solve the issues, and it can highlight the problems in the data so that
Uh-huh.
users can take action on that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it is powered by a patent musical technology, which I told you before, which is visual query language.
Mm-hmm.
So that is one thing, and fast adoption at scale. So what does that mean is we can connect to any data. Let's say if you have data in some SQL table or Oracle table, or if you have any flat files like Excel or any notepad or anything. So you can
Mm.
directly connect to that database, and you can start building the visualizations.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. And it fits your environment. So it can connect to any data, and it can connect to any of the platform. So when I say environment, I will tell you. So there is on-premises and cloud. So Tableau can be maintained in the on-premises servers. So this is
Okay.
nothing but servers. So we can use on-premises servers or cloud servers like AWS or Azure. Okay, and we also have Tableau online also. So which is maintained by Tableau company.
Okay.
So when we say AWS or Azure or on-premises, this will be maintained by our organization. But when I say Tableau Online, it will be maintained by the Tableau company. So we just take the data, or we just take the space from the online, and we just use it and share it with the customers.
Okay.
So, so it fits our environment. So most of the clients or most of the customers are using AWS or Azure or on-premises servers. So it can connect to any database or any on-premises or any cloud services. And it can also be used in. Am I going very fast, or do you have any questions?
I can't hear you. Can you repeat one more time? What is that?
Am I going
What?
very fast, or do you want me to
No.
slow down a bit?
No. 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 You're going.
Okay. Okay. So we can connect to Windows or Linux or Mac OS. It will support all the OS, and mission critical platform. Like when data is critical to our business, like it can handle like millions of records, and the data is so secure, and the maintenance of credentials and everything will be so secure, and it maintains the compliance and security management. And Tableau also offers and supports the needs of our businesses. Like when we are sharing some data to the customer, so it
Okay.
will directly be shared to the customer itself. And there is a like we can give security, like data security. Let's say if you are sharing any data to the CEO level, so he can access the entire data. And when you are sharing the data to the contact or any particular regional head, so he can able to access only that his particular region's data. So we can restrict the data to that level of access that they have. And let's say if you are giving access to some manager, so he should be having access only to the his team members. She should not be able to access another managers team members. So there is a restriction, and we can give row level security by providing the Tableau server. We can restrict the data to the specific persons. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So we have so many Tableau products we have.
Mm-hmm.
Let me tell you. So Tableau products. So Tableau desktop. So Tableau desktop is the main one, and Tableau prep, Tableau reader, Tableau public, Tableau server, Tableau online. Basically, these two are very important. So Tableau desktop and Tableau server. These are
Mm-hmm.
the two products which we use mostly. So first, let me tell you about Tableau desktop. So
Okay.
this is where the Tableau development happens. So the application which I opened here, that is what is Tableau desktop. Uh, and this is where we create the visualizations, and it
Mm-hmm.
is core platform for all the Tableau developers. So whoever uses this Tableau desktop, they will be called as Tableau developers. And we can create actionable insights by creating the visualizations.
Okay.
So this is where the development happens, and this is where we connect to the data, and this is where we pull out the information. And so this in Tableau desktop there is a functionality called it will separate the dimensions and measures. I will tell you
Okay.
about what dimensions and measures in the next slides. And yeah, so after creating the visualization in Tableau, so let's say we created one dashboard in Tableau, and it is in our desktop. So we want the users to look into the dashboard or the visualization that we created. So we need to have a platform where user can go and see the dashboard that we created. So this is what the platform. So where we publish our reports. Tableau server is a platform to publish our report where user can access.
Okay.
So it's like sharing our information in the Tableau server, and this is they can log in only with their credentials. Or there is a functionality called single sign-on. Single
Okay.
sign-on is nothing but, so they don't need to enter their credentials every time. So it will
Okay.
automatically pick up their system credentials, and it will directly show their data to the customers. So it will not ask for any credentials. It will directly open the Tableau dashboard. So by taking the Windows password. So Tableau server is where we publish our reports so that user can access the dashboards which developer develops. And so that is about Tableau server, and this is where we restrict the data, and so that we can put some low level security, so that any user logs in, and so he can see this particular data. Let's say a regional head logs into Tableau server, we will be able to see this region's data, nothing but the other regions.
Okay.
And yeah, so coming to Tableau prep is like preparing the data.
Oh.
So So earlier to Tableau, like 10.3 before, we don't have this Tableau prep. So recently they have implemented this Tableau prep. So this also needs another license for this. So, so you can't use Tableau desktop license to the Tableau prep. So you need to have a separate license for Tableau prep. And
Okay. I understand we want to use a different license. What is this prep? Tableau prep? Uh,
yeah, so where we can do data modeling. So
data.
here we can do, yeah, we can do left join, right join. So we can do all the types of implementation, and we can run the steps. Let's say you take the data from one system, and
Mhm.
you take the data from multiple systems and make it together and combine the
Oh,
columns, do some operations and all. Everything happens
oh,
here,
okay.
like an ETL job. It extracts the
Like
data,
a what? Oh, ETL. Okay.
extracts and transforms,
Okay.
loads into one table or anything, like any database.
Okay.
So it does an ETL operation. So
Okay.
basically, in any organization, they maintain some ETL tools,
Yes.
any SQL database or any. Uh,
Yes.
so they'll use this ETL kind of stuff. So we don't use Tableau Prep much.
Okay.
Uh, yeah, so this is not much useful. And there are Tableau Prep developers are they will be separate. So they have to
Uh,
do the CTL operations and all. This is like we will have jobs to run. So if you want to load the data into some particular database, so you need to
uh-huh.
run this job.
Okay.
So every
Yeah.
monthly or weekly, so that happens.
Okay.
So that's why I said in the starting, Tableau Desktop and Tableau Server are the two main applications that Tableau developer use.
Yeah.
Okay. And Tableau Desktop is a licensed version, and per single it costs I think $70 for single license.
Okay.
For group it might differ, and Tableau server for each and every credential, like for one user they might charge something. I'm not sure about that logistics, but they will
Yeah.
charge for each user. So let's say if we have 100 users, they will charge for each and every user and multiply it by 100. So
Okay.
in
That's
that, sorry.
yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So that and even Tableau Prep is also a licensed version. And so coming to Tableau Reader, so this is a free version. So anybody can install Tableau Reader. Anybody can
Okay.
use it. There is no license required for this Tableau Reader,
Uh-huh.
and this is to just read the uh, Tableau files. So it's like a
Okay.
PDF reader. Let's say if you want to open a PDF file, you need to have PDF reader in your computer. In the same way, if you
Oh,
want to open a Tableau file, you can open with a Tableau reader. So
yes.
if you have Tableau desktop also, you can open it. But for
Okay.
Tableau desktop, you need to have license. But for Tableau
Okay.
reader, you don't need any license. But you can't do any edits. We can't edit in
Okay.
Tableau reader. Like likewise in PDF reader, we can't do any edits, right? Like we can't
Yes.
change any text or anything. The same way in Tableau reader also, we can't do any editing and all. It's just to view the Tableau files,
Yeah.
view the Tableau files. Okay. So Tableau public. So this is also similar to Tableau server, but this is maintained by uh, Tableau company.
Okay.
So if you publish anything in this Tableau public, it is viewable by anybody in the
Oh.
world. So
Okay.
anybody can see in the dashboard that you publish in this Tableau public.
Oh. Okay.
And so it is like just to practice if you want to practice anything, as Tableau
Uh-huh.
server is not free. So if you want to publish and if you want to see some transactions or anything, you can publish it here, and yeah, looks like you can practice over Tableau Public. So it is
Okay. Yeah.
viewable by everybody. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Tableau Online, it is a hosted version of Tableau server, which is maintained by Tableau company. So Tableau Online, what it does is it gives the space from online. So let's say if you are publishing 100 dashboards, so they will give you space for that 100 dashboards, and they will provide you some number of users. Let's say if you want some 100 users, so they will give you for 100 users, they will give you some amount of space. Let's say 100 GB or
Okay. Yeah.
200. They will provide you the space. So in
Okay.
that space, you can publish the dashboards and you can host it in the Tableau Online. So you don't
Okay.
need to make any servers. So let's say if you get any issue in the space or anything, you can raise a complaint to the Tableau company.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
in case of Tableau server, we need to maintain the server. Let's say we need to have some 1 TB or 2 TB or whatever data which is there. So we need to maintain that much of servers. That is our headache to maintain the Tableau server. But in case of Tableau Online, it is maintained by the Tableau company. We just need to take the space. And this is all cloud.
Okay.
And in case of Tableau server, this can be on premises. So in most of the organizations, it is on premise right now. And now they are moving to
Well,
cloud, which can be, most of them are using AWS and also Azure.
okay.
Yeah. So this can be two. Tableau server can be on premises or cloud.
Okay. Yeah.
So these are the one, two, three. These are the six products which are there for Tableau. So most of the we use only Tableau desktop and Tableau server.
Okay. Yeah.
And in Tableau desktop, the main feature is like it harnesses the flexibility. Let's say it will calculate the calculations in on the fly. On the fly in the sense, let's say we have a calculation. Let's say we have a column called column A, and we also have column B. Column B. And you have values like 23, 32, and in column B you have some 20, 40. And if you are doing division like column A divided by column B, so what any
3 divided by
database,
20. Yeah.
yeah, it does like this. Something like this, and it will give you some output, some decimal output, whatever it is. So it gives us the output, and it
Okay.
stores in that column. So in Tableau, what it does is, so this can be manipulated. So we can write calculations, and this can be manipulated for each and every region. This will not be stored. This value will not be stored in the uh, a database or in a table. It will not get stored. So let's say what happened. Let's say if it, now you take the total. So 23 plus 32 is 55, right?
Okay.
And which is 60. And here you can't do the sum up. Let's say you have some value like 0.2. Maybe I'm just entering some random value. Maybe the answer is zero point 0.4 like this. So
Okay.
normally in database what it does is it might give you 0.6 as the answer as we are summing up. right? But
Yes.
actual output might differ. Let's take the right values only. Two, two, two. 23 divided by 1.15 and 32 divided by 40.8. So in this case, what I'm doing is I'm summing up 0.8 plus 1.15, which gives me 1.95. So I'm doing this summation. So in case of normal databases, what it does is it will do like this. But sorry.
Yeah, go ahead. Nothing.
Okay. Okay, so Tableau, what it does is it will do this summation, like the column A summation and column B summation, and then it divides. So 55 divided by 60, it gives you 0.9166, which is correct.
Yes.
So whenever you do a division, you need to do the sum up and do the division. So as I said, Tableau does not store any values in the backend. So it will do the calculations on the fly. So when it is a individual values, it will give you individual division. But when it is a summation, it will sum up the data to that column and to the other column, and then gives you the value. So it does an on the fly calculation. I'll show you in the Tableau desktop in the coming session, so you'll understand more better. So these are all about Tableau products, Tableau server, and all that. Yeah. Okay. And as I said in the starting, so it also has a capability as an in-memory BI tool. Uh, so this is much more important in this Tableau. Why? Because it uses RAM instead of pulling data from source. So it stores the data in the RAM. So that is why it takes less time compared to other BI tools. So let's say you are connecting to some 1 GB data or 2 GB data. So what happens is every time it hits the tab at the database and it pulls the data. So it takes a lot of time to show the visualization. But in case of Tableau, what happens is it hits the RAM. So the data will get stored into the RAM, and then it will take the data from our PC only. So in that case, what happens is it is taking the data from our PC, so it is so faster, and it will show the visualization very faster compared to other BI tools.
It's on
So
the Tableau desktop, right?
yeah, Tableau desktop and Tableau server as well. So Tableau server also, if you have, so it depends on the RAM. So if you have more RAM, your dashboard will be faster. If you have less RAM, your dashboard will be slow. So you need to maintain the RAM. Depending on that, the performance differs.
Yeah.
So the advantage of this BI in-memory BI is it improves the processing speed, and it does. It is not limited to the displaying only the numbers in the cube. It also stores the data in the RAM.
Okay.
And yeah, we can do complex calculations also by using this in-memory tool. Okay. Yeah. And coming to dimensions and measures. Yeah. dimensions and measures. So these are the fundamentals. So any database or any reporting tool, if you are learning any database or any reporting tool, these two are mandatory to learn. So dimensions are the ones which cannot be aggregated.
Yes, because those are names.
Yeah, these are mostly names. Names, regions, uh, IDs, and date. All this comes under IDs. If you see, IDs also, it seems like numbers, but let's say you are having some number like 140514, but that's an ID. You can't do a summation. Let's your ID and my ID, we should not do a summation, right? So,
Yes, yeah.
so likewise, date is also a dimension and measures. So in the name only it is saying which is measurable
Okay.
or which can be aggregated, which can be aggregated. What I mean by aggregation is nothing but sum,
Sum,
min,
division, multiplication, yeah.
max, division, multiplication, where we can do all these mathematical calculations that we can do. We call that can be aggregated. Let's say sales, profit, uh, ratings. Yeah, all this can be measurable. So dimensions and measures. So whenever we connect Tableau to any database, so first of all, what it does is it identifies the dimensions and it identifies the measures and it will segregate. Let's say in case of IDs, if you see, I'll just open one Excel file. So in case of IDs, what it does is it looks like a number and Tableau identifies it as a measure. So Tableau won't understand whether it is a dimension or whether it is a measure. So
No.
we need to tell Tableau that it is a dimension. So
Okay.
there are certain things which we can convert from measure to dimension, and dimension to measure.
Okay. Yeah.
That I will show you in the coming classes how to convert that. Okay, so ID something like this. One, two, four, like this. And name update slash date. So this is the sample data, and we have, let's say, salary $500, $600, $700, and wage. Okay. So in this, can you tell me what are all the dimensions and what are all the measures?
The names and dates are the IDs, and names and dates are the dimensions, and age, salary is the measures.
Yeah, correct. These three are dimensions, and these two are measures. Oh. So this is the fundamental of any database or any reporting tools. So we should know about dimensions and measures.
Okay.
And as I said before, so Tableau won't identify this particular thing as a dimension. Sorry, measure. So basically, it converts this as a measure. As we have numbers in this, Tableau will understand that as a measure only. So we need to convert that into a dimension.
Okay. Yeah.
Or in the database, if it is specified as a character or any text value, so then also
Mhm.
in case of that also it will convert into dimension. So let's say
Okay.
if you are saying it here, so it is in the format of general. Let's say if I am converting into some text. So
Mhm.
what happens? It became a text value. So Tableau now will identify it as a dimension only. So
Okay.
database also there are some format options where we can keep number also in the text format, so that Tableau also identifies it as a dimension. Yeah. So measures, as the name suggests, which can be measurable and aggregated, and measures are numerical values where we can perform mathematical operations and all. And so, okay, and the main thing is uh, dimensions are quantitative and measures are qualitative. So as you said, you are going to prepare for the interviews, right? So these are some basic questions they ask. So they might ask you about what are dimensions and measures. Yeah, yeah, sure. So if you have any questions or any doubts related to your requirements, you can ask here.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I will.
Okay.
And also, we are going in a good shape, so yeah, we'll continue.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
And OLTP and OLAP. So these are also two basic fundamentals in database level only. This is not related to reporting. So OLTP and OLAP. I'll just write it down here. OLTP, online transaction processing. So this is where all the transactions happen. Let's say in Amazon or Flipkart or in any ATM or in any super store. So whatever the transaction that we do, that transaction will get stored in this OLTPs. So the data will be stored for temporary, like for weekly or for daily. So they store the data. They store the data and they transfer the data to OLAP, which is online analytical processing. So in the name only, it is defined like transactions. So wherever the transaction happens, let's say if you are buying any phone in Flipkart, so there is one transaction which is happening, and so a lot of transactions like editing, like deleting. Let's say if you are buying any products, one record will be entered in that transaction table that this particular person has bought one particular phone, and that let's say if you are canceling that product, some editing will be happen in that transaction, and that let's say if you are not buying any product, so that record will get deleted. So every transaction will happen, and every user will have interaction with this OLTP. Let's say I can interact with Flipkart or I can interact with online any uh, e-commerce websites. So any user can interact with OLTP. But in case of online analytical processing, what happens is all the transaction tables information will get stored in OLAP, and not all the users can access this OLAP. So it will have historical information, and this can be used only for analysis purpose only. Let's say the data that we use for Tableau. So we take the data dump, and then we create the visualization, and that data will be accessible to the customers, let's say to the higher level management or to the managers or to the leads, but not to the user level. So user cannot access the data. But in case of OLTP, we are the users who are interacting with OLTP. So if you are buying any product, one record will be inserted in the transaction table. But in case of OLAP, uh, no user can enter any data. So this data is coming from the transaction. So OLTP is the source for OLAP. Yeah. So OLTP, it is the place where frequently insertions and updates and deletes takes place. And OLAP, it is the place where data retrieval takes place. So it from OLTP, we will take the data to the OLAP. And as I said, any user can interact with OLTP, like e-commerce websites. Any user can interact with those e-commerce websites, and any user can control the data in the OLTP. But in case of OLTP, so after this data getting stored in analytical processing or the data that we have, so that data we will show only to the executives or to the business intelligence managers or anybody who is actually want to uh, take the data and take action on that particular data. So any user interface is a source for OLTP. Let's say, as I said, any ATM machine or any superstore or any e-commerce websites. So any user can interact with OLTP. And all the OLTPs are the source for OLTP. And OLTPs will always have only limited amount of data. Let's say weekly data, or it will hold only 1 day data, and then it will get stored into the OLAP. And OLAP will always have a lot of data, and this maintains the historical information. Maintains only current data.
Okay.
Yeah. So, do you have any questions on OLTP and OLAP?
Yes, can you show me how is this OLTP? I understand how OLTP and OLAP works, but I don't understand where this will work. Like in.
So this is okay. These are maintained by different systems. Let's say any organization. Let's say if you take an example of healthcare, so they
Okay.
maintain, let's say, CRM. So that is a database where they will enter some hospital information. Let's say if you buy some MRI machine, so they will enter one record in their system. So that will get stored in one particular system. So this is a architectural procedure. So they store data in one system, and all the data, let's say in multiple hospitals, they will have this particular CRMs. So that is, I'll just show it here. So let's say hospital one has a system, and they stored daily. They are storing some 100 reports. Okay,
Okay.
in one system. In hospitals two system, they are storing some daily 200 records. Okay, so all this H1, H2 systems data will get stored into some database. So this system is called as OLTP, where the transactions happen. So in a day, that transaction will get freezed, and that freezed transaction will go and get stored in this. So this becomes 300 records, OLAP. So all the data will get stored in this, and we do some ETL procedure here, which is we will extract the data from that system. This is also one system. Like this can be any Oracle, or this can be SQL, or any other Informatica, or any other database that stores data. So they maintain this system. So we do extraction, transformation, and we load into one database. And then we connect this to Tableau. And then we create visualization and publish it to Tableau server. So this is the architecture.
Okay.
So in the next day, these records will get deleted. So
Oh,
in H1 system, you won't see these records. And in
yeah.
the next day, you might have 150 records. In the next day, here you might have some 50 records. So some 50 records. So you have 200 extra. So these old records will be here only. So you will have more 200 records. So in this way, OLAP stores the data by taking the data from all these hospitals. So
Yeah.
in the same way happens for Superstore, in the same way happens for any e-commerce websites. Same
Yeah.
procedure.
Hmm? Because more traffic is added every day, right? That's why it's increased.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, so with that, we have covered all the topics for today. So
Okay.
assignments.
For
I'll
how
give you
many
sample
days
data.
this course?
30 sessions, 30 hours.
36. Okay. 30 hours.
Yeah.